Okay, theme of this 2-week spread. Oh, look what's underneath it. Oh, okay. Is the Five of Rods. The Five of Rods talks about competition. The Five of Rods talks about sham fighting. The Five of Rods talks about several people, one of them being yourself, holding on to their rod, denoting their want, their inspiration, their spirituality, their fire, their beliefs. Holding on to that and coming to a conversation, only talking about your own, not listening to anybody else. But there's 5 people doing that. So nothing gets accomplished, does it really? Everyone's shouting. And it can talk about, naggy sort of toilet seat or toothpaste lid off type stuff going on. Change of perspective needed. Definitely, because not only is there sham fighting, there's serious going on too, and that actually the main thing of that card. I'm sorry about the lighting, and I keep doing this and it keeps going out of focus, but anyway, the main thing about this card underneath here is that nobody wins, same as that one. Okay, centre of the reading, I do believe this to be yourself. Knight of Swords, Crusader, on his horse, charging forward for the truth. Air sign, Sun, Moon, Rising, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Knight, denoting not quite to the top of the suit, little inexperienced, but he's going to find out. Fastest knight in the deck, galloping forward. You want him in a war for you because he's the one that's at the front going, charge. Only accepting truth, only giving truth. He's a crusader. He's out looking for the truth, although quite tiring. Crossing you to help you, hinder you, is the King of Cups. So it can be another person, Pisces, Scorpio, Cancer, Sun, Moon, Rising. King denoting the head of the suit, can be a girl. If it is another person, then it is somebody who's tempering you, because this fella's so calm. He can stand on water and it doesn't even sway. He's honest with his cup, i.e. emotion. He's honest at receiving emotion into that cup. He's balanced. His emotions are balanced. He's experienced at balancing his emotions. While you're out at sea, he ain't spilling none of his emotion. So, to help you, well, it's going to tempt you slightly, isn't it? And actually, as much as I love this chap, being a double Gemini myself, there are times where, you're galloping and galloping and galloping, and you might be going through puddles and stuff, and the water's moving, and there's movement everywhere from this. Oh, just stand still, and nothing can sway you. Nothing brings that sword out because you are so practiced at holding down the emotion. Not holding down the emotion, actually, just holding on to the emotion. I'm going to help you into it. And to hinder you, well, if he's upside down, that water there is just falling out, isn't it? Might as well just forget it. That'd turn into rain and drown you. And, you'd be like, get out of my way, you. No, this is you tempering your emotions, whatever you're crusading about. Lying below you is the moon. The moon can talk about deception, can talk about things being hidden, can talk about stuff like that, but actually I do believe this is the moon of, well, in fact it's today, it's the 12th of January full moon. Something's happening around the full moon. And, the moon, it's emotion, isn't it? And it could be around this time you're able to temper your temper. Because if anyone annoys you on this horse, you're on a murder charge, aren't you? And I do believe that will happen around now. What lies behind you is the Emperor. It denotes Aries, and It talks about a father or grandfather figure or somebody you would go to for advice, a learned person. It can actually talk about somebody in an organisation who makes decisions for you without your input. But he's a fair and honest fella, this fella. He's the emperor. He looks after everybody in his empire. The decisions that he makes has taken into account everything and everybody. But then once he makes his decision, that's it. That's the end of that. And I do see that's looking out to you spread. And it might be that in your quest for your truth, you know, this is how you've come across, because he can be quite frightening, this fella. But the good thing about it, and the King of Cups is pointing towards him. Okay, so emotion, heart, swords, mental, head, heart, head over heart, heart against head. The two together gives you a very learned person to deal with those idiots, most definitely. Very decisive fella, lots of decisions being made by him. Okay, but not just screw with ones. Everything is being considered here. It's great, because what lies ahead of you is the Six of Coins. Six of Coins talks about give and take. So, you know, it can talk about gift, and often it's pentacles, pentacles being money, job, that sort of thing. So you could have got a new job with a higher salary or a pay increase or something like that. It can also talk about a gift being an engagement ring or that type of stuff. But it's talking about being equal, so give and take. So it can talk about you being charitable and receiving also, you know, so it might be that you win the lottery and you give, I don't know, 10% of it to children in need, I don't know, something like that, because it is telling you to get these scales balanced, keep the scales balanced. What you give out, you will receive. What you receive, remember to give something out. Give and take. Goes around, comes around. Comes around, goes around. The one thing that you do have to watch on this, though, is you need to look at who you're giving your pentacle to. Because you're not looking, you're just doing it. But it needs to be where it needs to go for these scales to be balanced, as your grounded world is. All right, so I will tell you that this jumped out as I was shuffling. I did look at it and I did think, oh, if it comes out, it'd be fabulous. And therefore I will tell you that while I was shuffling, that just flew across the room. Okay, so what lies ahead of you, you know, right, so upside down, this fella's a bugger, so it's not like that. This way, it is once you have tempered your emotions and got yourself in a very, very stable situation, at the end of that, you get the world. So the world is the last of the major arcana, the end of that journey, long and arduous journey often, lots of lessons. You've gone through the Fool all the way through the other 21 cards to get up to here. And because you have got here, the universe will give you a reward. I personally feel that the reward is the new path that gets presented after this. One, you know, give and take, goes around, comes around. Once it ends, it starts again. Once it ends, it starts again, half and half. How you see yourself in this situation? Well, you see yourself as here. You see yourself as temperance. You see yourself as balanced. You see yourself as it's gentle healing. This is known as. So you know, 1 foot in emotion, 1 foot down on the ground, grounding it, balancing your emotion from one cup to another. Takes some doing to just stand on those tippy toes and be that balanced. But that's how you see yourself. Oh, and you know what I've just seen? Oh, yeah, right. So my eyes just got to there, and as I've put it back, it's gone to there, and that does seem like as well. So this circle here, and I've elongated that to that circle. But my eye has just been drawn to here. 12th of January, full moon. How other people see you is quite slowly, but working it. King of Pentacles, King of Pentacles, slowest knight in the deck. King of Pentacles, the only fella in the deck that gets eventually to where he's going. So, you've tempered yourself, haven't you, from that gallop? That gallop just like off. You've balanced your emotions. You've made decisions. The world is giving you its oysters. And now you're working it in the correct way on this earth. Because thoughts are thoughts, they're in the air. Emotions are emotions, they're inside of you. This fella's working in the real world, plodding along, one step at a time, dotting his I's, crossing his T's, looking around, making sure he's missed nothing. Next step, next step, next step, working it. And if you look, that's how people see you, and they see you looking out to the future with this pentacle. Your hopes and your fears, the Hanged Man. Do you want to hope to be hanging around? Hanged Man talks about sitting on the fence. You want to sit on the fence? No, you don't. That would be your fear. Your hope would be, because I think you've had enough of hanging around, and actually, there's a new path coming along. Jump onto that path. That's your hope. Absolutely, that's your hope. And your fear would be hanging around waiting for inspiration from the universe. Well, I think you've already got your inspiration. It's just that it's not come like that, as in there's your inspiration. It's happened and you've done it. Jump off that fence now. You know which road you're going down. Yeah, new path, and you're jumping on it. That's your hope. You're working it yourself. You've done this yourself. You need to take all the credit for this yourself. This is what's down for you. It's correct. And you've got energies from the moon and all that sort of thing, all helping. And, you've got your characteristics of your signs, sun, moon or rising, whichever they are. All of that's helping. But you're doing this. You're physically getting on your horse and walking down a new road. You jumped onto the horse because you were already hanging above, waiting for the horse to go underneath you. And you just jumped off with your legs open and you're on the horse. Okay, and then you're working it. And you're working it so that you love it. This is this fella. This fella's just on his horse going to work. Then he goes inside of work and that's him working. Loving what he does. Every detail exactly the same as the one before, every detail being the correct way of doing it and checking, dotting I's, crossing T's onto the next one. Put it up and behind you, look at it, goes to work an hour early, doesn't get paid, doesn't care. Works through his lunch hour, doesn't get paid, doesn't care. Just look at what he's producing, loves it. So working diligently on a grounded level. And again, both these guys looking out to the future.